Hope everyone's having a great morning. It is precisely 4:59. I decided to come on. I'm very random like that. Unfortunately, there's not going to be too much drama today, so I do apologize, but I do owe the Spreaker community a drama show, but it's just not going to be today, unfortunately. I'm still doing these fact shows. Very important. Looks like we already have someone's awake and in my show. Mr. White. Good morning, Mr. White. Welcome to my shit show. Alright, again, I'm doing a fact show, because these fact shows are based on facts. And I think that's always more important than, say, news or drama in some sense, because it's facts. And we can't argue with facts, unless they're wrong. Then yes, you can. So anyways, I hope my levels are okay and everything's sounding good. Alright, so let's just go down the list. I usually pick about 100, and this is from All That Is Interesting. Basically, when Twister was introduced in 1966, it was denounced by critics as sex in a box. You know, that kind of reminds me of the Alice in Chains song, you know. There are actually more life forms living on your skin than there are people on the planet. Well, that makes more sense because of all the bacteria, and for some of us, we have fungal problems. And, you know, you got some stinky feet, you know, got some life forms, the fungi, the bacteria, the nasty wasties. And I also want to welcome Reds. Welcome to my chat. What kind of insane ramblings of a delusional madman shall we endure? How much can your mind take before it slips into a dimension of pure horror? I don't know. That's very hurtful, Stabby. I'm getting back to the facts, not your hurts. Otters sleep holding hands. See, that's like me and Stabby. We tend to do that a lot. We sleep holding hands. But that's mostly out of gay conviction of the homosexual agenda. O.J. Simpson was originally cast to play the Terminator, but the studio was afraid that no one would buy him as a remorseless killer. How come I've not heard of that? Huh? O.J. Simpson? Not a killer? They got that wrong. Leonardo? Narda or Nardo? Alright, so Leonardo da Vinci could write with one hand and draw with the other at the same time. That's amazing. I can't do either. I can't write and I can't draw, so the fact that he can do both while I can do shit makes me a very jealous individual. You know what I mean? Oh, great. Just great. I got a sponsored message. I should have looked through these facts before I clicked on them, huh? But no, I'm a man of no prep. The last man to walk on the moon, Gene Cernan, promised his daughter he'd write her initials on the moon. He did, and her initials are TDC, and will probably be on the moon for tens of thousands of years. I mean, can you be sure? Because there's fucking craters everywhere. But, I mean, it's a nice gesture on Gene's part, but really? Okay. The mimic octopus can not only change colors, but will mimic the shapes of other animals, like the flounder, lionfish, and sea snakes. Alright, guys, so after this show, please go to YouTube and look up the mimic octopus. Very important. I know I am. 20% of office coffee mugs contain fecal matter. But you know why? It's because of all the after-hour sex. And so the way the after-hour sex works is whoever is the person that most people hate, they have sex on their desk. And then since it's kind of like a mob mentality, they just go back and forth. So that makes sense. If you were to remove all of the empty space from the atoms that make up every human on Earth, the entire world population could fit into an apple. Okay. We're all going to fit into a fucking apple? That's scary. I'm not going to do it. In the 1960s, the CIA tried to spy on the Kremlin and Russian embassies by turning cats into listening devices. The program, called Acoustic Kitty, involved surgically implanted implanting batteries, microphones, and antenna inside cats. That's fucked up. You're gonna put all that crap in cats? I mean, come on. But it makes sense. I mean, it was for the cause of America, so okay, it's fine. The 3 wealthiest families in the world have more assets than the combined wealth of the 48 poorest nations. But they're super poor. I mean, what are they going to do? You know, it's like a traffic jam lasted for more than 10 days with cars only moving 0.6 miles a day. I'm looking at this picture. They look like Chinese people, the Chiners, the Chanks. Very interesting. You know, if you think the California traffic's bad, I wouldn't want to go there either. Dueling is legal in Paraguay as long as both parties are registered blood donors. So who wants to go there? Who wants to fight me? You know, you hear all these people wanting to fight on each other, but they don't. They just never will. Caterpillars completely liquefy as they transform into moths. Liquefy. I mean, weren't we just talking about Terminator 2? I mean, I've seen that boss. I mean, that was one of the cooler bosses that actually exist, you know. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, great. Glad this doesn't work now. Am I being hacked? Just work, please. Please just work on me. Great, now I started back on the beginning. Stupid sponsored images. Never again. I understand that meaning now. Never again. Okay, there are over 200 corpses on Mount Everest, and they're actually used as waypoints for climbers. You know, at least they're not used as snacks, right? I mean, when adjusted for inflation, John D. Rockefeller is the richest man in the history of the world, with a net worth 10 times more than Bill Gates. So why didn't anyone capture him or something, or his kids, you know, because Bill Gates is one wealthy asshole. And knowing that someone is worth 10 times more than him, dumb motherfuckers. Hell, the Gilded Age. All the clocks in the movie Pulp Fiction are stuck at 4:20. See, that's just because a lot of them are Hitler lovers, you know, it had nothing to do with pot. They're just full of shit. Dr. Seuss wrote Green Eggs and Ham to win a bet against his publisher, who thought that he could not complete a book with only 50 words. A 50-worded book. But it was a great book. If you haven't been a big fan of Green Eggs and Ham, then you're just missing out here. Okay, so let me go back to the chat room. Very important. OJS, also not a Jew. I'm not sure who... Oh, O.J. Simpson, yeah. Yeah, and that was from an Adam Sandler song. That's weird about Adam Sandler is fucking one of the most horrible actors. The only 2 movies you ever need to see from Adam Sandler that were good was Billy Madison, and then Happy Gilmore was okay. It was probably his second best movie. That's it. Don't see any movies Adam Sandler does. Some of his songs are pretty good. That's it. I mean, he peaked a while ago, but ironically, all his movies have been doing okay just because they have his name. Go figure, right? I mean, I guess I'd be doing that too. Like Nicolas Cage, he went bankrupt or whatever, and he's doing all these shitty movies. So, okay. A human will eat on average 70 assorted insects and 10 spiders while sleeping. I assume it doesn't say per lifetime. That makes more sense. So all these people these vegetarians, they're stupid. Hit them. Okay, let's see what else is next here. Okay, and there are more possible iterations of a game of chess than there are atoms in the known universe. Well, that's silly to say. We don't know that. We just don't know how far it goes. When the University of Nebraska Cornhuskers play football at home, the stadium becomes the state's 3rd largest city. Yeah, no shit. It's Nebraska. I mean, They have a few cities there with some people, but because Nebraska doesn't have like a major team anywhere for like baseball or football, obviously a college team, when they play the Cornhuskers, fuck, that's even popular here with half the people. So it's obviously, Apocalypse appeals to the tweaker to me. I don't know what that means. Is he a tweaker? Did Stabby just admit homosexual tweaker feelings towards me, or just homosexual tweaker feelings to all? Because I don't know if he's being inclusive here or not. Mr. White and Reds are having gay sex, so they can't say much. Well, yeah, I could see that happening. Or they're just fucking bored with my nonsense. I don't blame them for either. Just the way it is, Russia didn't consider beer to be alcohol until 2011. It was previously classified as a soft drink. That's very interesting. See, this is why Putin is so great. He makes Russians label things properly. It's previously classified as a soft drink, so I imagine that anyone could get beer in Mother Russia at any time. Interesting. If a male lion takes over a pride, he executes all of the cubs. I've heard this before, something like that, but I wonder, will he execute his own? Once he knocks up all the lion focuses? I mean, I hope not. That's just not nice. But then again, Mother Nature, not too nice. But when people like Bernie Sanders gets elected, that's right, we'll make Mother Nature abide by democratic socialism and love and compassion for each other. Forbes estimated in 2011 that Scrooge McDuck was worth $44.1 billion. I like how they had to do that .1 billion. Like, 44 billion isn't just good enough. Let's just round up 44.1. It's like, thanks, awesome. 2/3 of the people on Earth have never seen snow. 2/3 of the people on Earth have never seen snow? What the fuck? Oh, wait. Is it because they all live in Africa? Well, Southern Africa, I believe, gets snow. And Asia? I guess Asia has a lot of warm parts, but that's still surprising. 2/3, though, I've never seen snow. I'm not sure if I'm buying that. Now, to be honest, I mean, even parts of Mexico get snow, and it gets fucking hot as hell there. In Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 thriller Psycho, the sound effects for the famous shower scene were actually created by repeatedly stabbing a cassava melon? What the fuck is a cassava melon? What the fuck? I'll have to watch behind the scenes because I don't buy this shit. I figured they're just sitting in the background just stabbing a pig or something. A hummingbird weighs less than a penny? Has anyone ever caught one or held one? No. So this is just bullshit. Why am I reading these facts? They're a bunch of lies. There are more vacant houses than homeless people in the United States. Very interesting. Now, one might say, why don't we put all the homeless people in these vacant homes? But if they can't take care of themselves, then how's the house going to take care of them? Or are they going to just ruin these houses? I could see why, but... and who's going to pay for the bills of the house? Who's going to do the upkeep? Who's going to take out the trash? Well, these are things. These are things that people don't ever talk about because they hurt some feelings for you and for me. Okay. Let's see the next thing. When St. Louis held the 1904 Summer Olympic Games, events included greased pole climbing, rock throwing, and mud fighting. So I take it none of these are still part of it. None of those sound familiar. Okay. And the woolly mammoth was around when the Egyptian pyramids were being built. Yeah, fucking Siberians. Fucking Russians, I think. The only facts I believe in are the ones Debbie approves of. Alright. Stabby, I'll write that down. I'll force Debbie to listen to this because she does what I tell her, and she'll give me some insight to see, and I'll just ask her, do you agree with this fact or not? She'll let me know. The average American drinks about 600 sodas a year. Soda's like 2 liters? What size are we talking about here? Liters? 12 ounce? That's a lot of soda. And I guess diabetes being so prevalent isn't too surprising, or how fat everyone is. If you try to suppress a sneeze, you can rupture a blood vessel in your head or neck and die. I better stop doing that. I really do that. I'm able to stop it before it even does that. I do this weird thing where I just kind of shut off everything and I just stop breathing. It kind of works. It's weird how one day I'll have to show everybody, Okay, let's see. What's next here? When snakes are born with 2 heads, they fight each other for food. Oh boy. Fucking Mother Nature. So smart, so ruthless, yet so dumb. The average person walks the equivalent of 3 times around the world in a lifetime. But what if you're like a Spreakerite and you don't walk and you just kind of stuck in your mother's basement and you can't go out, or you're just too obese to go anywhere besides out of the room or out of the home? A shark can detect 1 part of blood in 100 million parts of water. Well, they better. Fucking roaming bastards. The name Jeep came from the abbreviation used in the Army for General Purpose Vehicle, GP. So, that makes sense. I always wondered about Jeep, because they do have that little military look. But sometimes, and that's one vehicle that got hijacked by the gays from the military, because most people that I see, there's like 2 types, like really outdoorsy types of people or the gay people. And that seems to be it. There's no real middle ground when it comes to the Jeep anymore. And Stabby just said the only facts I believe in are the one Deb's... Oh, I already read that shit. Shilly Bong is sleeping in? I don't know. He's usually awake. So, then again, it's 5:17. So that's what? I don't know. 10, wherever the fuck he is. I don't know. He lives so far away. FDA regulations allow 10 insects and 35 fruit fly eggs per 8 ounces of raisins. When people get all alarmist about that shit, it's not that bad for you. It's insects, pure protein. Although I don't know about the fruit fly eggs. Maybe just more protein. Sounds probably a lot grosser than it is. A jellyfish is 95% water. Well, isn't that fucking surprising? The rest just thorns and coolness. You are 1% shorter in the evening than in the morning. I think I've heard that. It would take 1,000 years to watch every video on YouTube. 1,000 years. Makes sense. After racking up 40 in late fees for a VHS, Reed Hastings was inspired to start Netflix. Oh, Mr. Reed Hastings, you silly, silly, silly shit. Okay, let's see here. 1 in 10 European babies are conceived in an IKEA bed. That's awesome. An IKEA bed. But, why not? You want to spend all this money for a super, super nice bed when you can build your own at a cheap rate? I think not. A hippo can open its mouth wide enough to fit a 4-foot tall child inside. Well, how do they know? Fucking rhino, fucking haters. A man named Charles Osborne had the hiccups for 69 years. Fuck that. Hiccups for 69 years? I would have ended it. Sorry. That's when suicide would be acceptable by all religions, by everybody at that point. It's like, it's just time to go. And imagine hiccuping that long, like sex and swimming, and I just can't imagine it. Or if, since it was a man, like how he went down on people and stuff. Maybe the women liked it though. A cockroach can live several weeks with its head cut off. That's fucked up. Who does that? You sick fucks. 15% of the air you breathe in a metro station is human skin. 15%? Which metro station? Well, good thing my city has nothing to do with metro stations. The tongue is the strongest muscle in the human body. Licking that ass, licking that ass. Ooh, yeah. Guinness Book of World Records holds the record for being the book most often stolen from public libraries. Wow, that's interesting, because when I've been to a public library, most people aren't reading books. And also, you could probably look up the records on the internet for that shit, so why are you stealing that? Oh well. A giraffe can clean its own ears with its 21-inch tongue. What the fuck? And it's black or silver. Weird. A group of pugs is called a grumble. We need like a pug army here at Spreaker. Come on, you know they're good. You know they're good for it. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. Why the fuck is that? Fuck, that's some discrimination, you know? In 2000, Pope John Paul II was named an honorary Harlem Globetrotter. Wow. What the fuck? That's just weird. Maybe are they all Catholics? Why John Paul? Fucking conspiracy shit. Fucking shilling for the Catholic Church, you fucking Harlem bastards. The number of words posted on Twitter each day would fill a 10 million page book. Probably more than that at this point. I mean, frozen lobsters can come back to life when thawed. That's weird as fuck. Fortune cookies are actually an American invention. Charles Jung created them in 1918. And Jung's one of those weird, like, last names that are either German or Chinese. Oh boy. It's 4:20. Thank you. Although it's 5:22 here, but thank you, Savvy. You fuck. Donald Duck, not Donald Trump. Donald Duck comics were banned from Finland because he doesn't wear pants. Well, good for them. Fucking fighting the man. French was the official language of England for over 600 years. And that's weird because I've been to England a few times and they're just like Americans. They don't speak other languages there. I mean, we get that bad rap for, what do you call someone who speaks 2 languages? Bilingual. What do you call someone who speaks 1 language? An American. Same way in the UK. No different. A flea can jump 350 times its body length, the equivalent of a human jumping the length of a football field. This is when we need to get those, I know it's totally banned, we need to get doctors messing around with science and creating these superhumans and messing around. And we need cool stuff. We need people that can get fed by just going out in the sunlight. Actor Tommy Lee Jones and former Vice President Al Gore were freshmen and roommates at Harvard. Huh. Who would have fucking known that? Not me. Not me. Tennessee was originally known as Franklin. West Virginia was nearly named Kanawha, and Utah almost became the state of Deseret? I don't know. I can't say these fucking words. I can just say Franklin. That's all I'm good for. You know me? I'm just a big, giant lump of worthless shit. Deseret. I don't know how to say that word. Now it's going to piss me off. If you sneeze too hard, you can fracture a rib. That's funny, because earlier we were talking about if you try to hold a sneeze, you can rupture something. And if you sneeze too hard, you can fracture a rib. So basically, when it comes to sneezing, you just got to go to the middle ground. Just let it go. But not too hard out. Just let it go. In a gentle, romantic style when it comes to sneezing. You are more likely to die from a falling coconut than a shark attack. I never understood this. Like, I mean, I guess since there's so many damn coconut trees in a land far away, and a bunch of turd fucks walking around, running into trees, I can get it. I can dig it. The chance of you dying on the way to get a lottery ticket is actually greater than the chance of you winning it. I know. I've never done the lottery. Our eyes are always the same size from birth, but our nose and ears never stop growing. Damn, our nose never stops growing? No, just think of like Jewish people and how they have the big schnoz, and so like if a little Jew boy, like their just nose just keeps growing like Pinocchio. Maybe Pinocchio was just Jewish or something like that. Not to be offensive to Jewish Americans. Oh look, reds and whites done with their shower. That is very interesting. They both came here. They left at the same time 25 minutes ago, and they both came back at 2. There is some hot sex going on in Spreaker, let me tell you. Because you know what? There's no sex going on here, so I'm glad someone else is partaking in it, It's always good. This has turned a lot of us into virgins again, or near virgins, The last time the Chicago Cubs won a World Series, the Ottoman Empire still existed. That's fucked up. Elvis Presley got a C in his 8th grade music class. That's true. Because they made music classes so boring. Coca-Cola would be green if coloring wasn't added to it. Really? The average mattress doubles in weight over the course of 10 years due to accumulation of dust mites and dust mite poop? Doubles in weight. How do you know you have dust mites? Doesn't that just happen to people who live in New York? But what if you spray all the time? You won't get dust. You won't get mites at all, right? The United States, Burma, and Liberia are the only countries in the world that have not officially adopted the metric system as the standard of measurement. And this is one of those things where the metric system's good. Mostly for converting. That's the best reason. I mean, inch, centimeter, come on. It's not that big of a deal in that sense, but conversion is a big thing. So, Earth is the only planet not named after a god. Ooh, angelic. Cows have best friends and experience stress when they are removed from them. I've seen this one video of some cow whose baby was removed from her and she screamed, and then once they got reunited, it got all excited. I could see that. The doctor who claimed there was a link between autism and vaccines created fraudulent data for his study and lost his medical license. Uh-oh. Now they just read this. Bathtub girl's gonna come murder me. That's what she does. Going to work is statistically 3 times more dangerous than war. Yeah. Okay. During the year 1881, 3 men served as President of the United States. Rutherford Hayes, James Garfield, and Chester Arthur. Interesting. Who would have fucking known that? Africa's population will be more than double to 2.3 billion people by 2050. Well, this is because people keep sending them food and medical supplies, and they aren't dying off like they used to, so they keep breeding. And that sounds terrible to say, but it's just because they're propped up by Western aid and Western food and medical supplies that, they have a very surplus population. And if you have a surplus population, then it keeps getting bigger and bigger, even though infrastructure doesn't improve or quality of life. And I'm not saying that to be rude, but it's just the way it is. I wouldn't want to live in Africa. I mean, there's probably 3 or 4 nations in Africa that are actually, halfway decent to live in. But other than that, fuck no. Let me tell you. Before colonial rule, Africa comprised up to 10,000 different states and anonymous groups with distinct languages and customs. I could see that. Basically, it's just one big tribal wasteland. In 1386, a pig in France was executed by public hanging for the murder of a child. Right, 1386. Okay, yeah, you get that pig. Almost a quarter of the land area of Los Angeles is taken up by automobiles. I don't think it's too different here. Although we got a lot more unused desert land, but yeah, LA, that's a dump. You don't want to live there. An ostrich eye is bigger than its brain. The eye of an ostrich is bigger than its brain? I'm going to go pet one of these days. I'm going to go find one. Clans, not Ku Klux Klan, but clans of long ago that wanted to get rid of their unwanted people without killing them, used to burn their houses down, hence the expression, to get fired. I always wondered. A jiffy is an actual unit of time, and that is 1/100th of a second. 1/100th of a second, I should say. Like Jiffy Lube, so gets done that quick, but fucking takes half your wallet. For years, the pharmaceutical company Bayer held the trademark for the word heroin and sold the drug as a cough and headache remedy. Hey, I mean, a lot of people on Spreaker have had a heroin problem at some point, so I mean, if heroin will cure it, but I mean, you'll have a host of new problems and probably OD, possibly die. So sad. Heroin has destroyed everyone's lives to some degree. Whether you took it, or whether you know a friend or two that have died from it, or have lost their fucking mind to it, you'll understand what I mean. Okay, polar bears trying to blend in with the ice will cover up their black nose with their paws. Makes sense. You gotta hide from the missus if you're a polar bear, and she can't see you if your nose is all covered up in the Arctic snow. In an average NFL football game, there are only about 12 minutes of actual playtime. 12 minutes of play in an NFL football game. I remember a few years ago I was watching the Vikings game and they did like double OT. And it's like a 5-hour game. Yeah, it's like, fuck. What am I doing? The average person consumes a pound of insects per year, mostly mixed in from other foods. Yeah, like bread and veggies and stuff. It would take 1,200,000 mosquitoes, each sucking at once, to completely drain the average human of blood. That's sick. Anyone who's into mosquitoes is sick. Any PETA asshole who says, oh, all animal life is precious. No, it's not. Approximately 2,500 left-handed people die a year as a result of using equipment designed for right-handed people. It makes sense. Left-handed people, They have a Holocaust going on every day. You know? That's like 6 people a day dying. I mean, what about left-handed people? You know, left-handed lives matter too. It's just fucked up that we turn a blind eye to this injustice. Meanwhile, people like Stabby just get away with murder and all this, and it's just like, I don't want to live in this world anymore, you know? I just want to move to Taiwan and protest China for being dickheads, you know? If you started with a penny and doubled your money every day, it would take 27 days to become a millionaire. Interesting. Baby robins eat 14 feet of earthworms every day. 14 feet? Baby robins? Man, you always grow so fast. So fast, those baby robins. Robins I like better than blue jays. I don't know if you guys are from a state that has blue jays. I'm not, I don't think. But at least not down here in the desert. Maybe the northern part of Arizona. But when I was back east, those blue jays, mean motherfuckers. In a statue dedicated to a person, if the horse has both front legs in the air, the person died in battle. If the horse has one front leg in the air, the person died as a result of wounds received in battle. If the horse has all 4 legs on the ground, the person died of natural causes. I never heard about this. The biggest tapeworm found inside a human body was 35 meters long. That's disgusting. Because think about it, that's 35 meters long? I mean, that must be one hungry little fucker, you know? Wow. Mr. White has no problem. Not sure what he means. I think probably, was I talking about blue jays, maybe? That you have no problem with them? Okay. Dogs are capable of understanding up to 250 words and gestures and have demonstrated the ability to do simple mathematical calculations. That's good. That's good. You know, too bad we can't really domesticate the wolves, you know. The wolves, I hear, are 3 or 4 times smarter than the dogs. Imagine what we could do with dogs that could speak to us. Just imagine. Mr. White said he has no problem being left-handed. Well, you know, I don't mean to cause you any alarm, Mr. White, but there's a good chance of you dying because you're left-handed. And because this is not a left-handed man's world. I'm sorry to say, the world is just not meant for left-handed people. Yeah, you can argue a lot of musicians were left-handed. Look how all those musicians died. Those musicians just didn't make it in the right man's world, you know. Blue whale fart bubbles are large enough to enclose a horse. Can you imagine that? Who studies that? Like, there must be like some fart studier person. Ooh, look at this fart. Look at this animal's farts. Fucking sick. If you sneeze too hard, you can fracture a rib. We already went through this. What am I repeating myself? Louis Armstrong played the trumpet so much that he got calluses on his lips? What? A callus on your lip? I didn't know that was possible. Oh my gosh, and it also says he cut them off with a razor blade. That's disgusting. Ew. Ew. Who does that? Ew. The longest jellyfish on record measured 160 feet. Can you imagine that? 160 feet? Fuck, I'm going to go Google that. I'm going to go find that right now. This is almost over anyway, so. Due to breathing, your ribs move about 5 million times a year. Due to breathing? Huh. Yeah, every breath you take. So basically, you breathe 5 million times a year. Huh. Only 1 person in 2 billion will live to be 116 or older. And it looks like all these people tend to be Orientals, as Stabby likes to call them. You know, I say just call them Asian, but he always says Orientals. Since 1945, all British tanks come with tea-making equipment. Well, it's very important, you know, when you're across the world and you're fighting terrorists, you gotta have your tea, because that's what the UK is about. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Oh. So how much time we got left here? 41 minutes. Anyways. Well, there isn't much else to talk about. I was going to do another one, but then I noticed this is 41 minutes long. I want to thank, let's see here, White, Stabby, and all this, and all that. Let me just end with this weird song that I did a while back that I uploaded on YouTube. It's some sort of weird song. Anyways, thanks for joining me, guys. I totally off my head, so hope I didn't suck too much shit. And if I did, oh well, what the fuck else do you expect?